Alrighty, everybody, I'm back! Yeah! I'm back here with all my friends.
See how excited we are?
Yeah! Oh, yeah, of course,
I don't know about you, but I'm more excited.
I thought you just left.
I don't know, man. It's like
we've
I've
got
been
a
gone
great
for 2
show.
weeks.
We may have a special guest, and we're going to get all that here in just a moment. So stay tuned. All right. So who do I have with me here? So to one of my sides, I've got Rich from Bacon Ice Cream Productions.
What's going on, everyone?
And then diagonally below here somewhere, we've got Pete, the Evercade.
Oh, I thought you were going to say me.
What the hell? Why are you guys so disjointed? I leave for 2 weeks and I come back and you're like completely broken.
I'm not.
I know, right?
And you know what?
Right?
I saw the reaction videos yesterday, and Crow, I'm so happy you've embraced the crazy thumbnails. I gotta say it. I'm so.
It wasn't crazy. That wasn't crazy. All I did was add a thought bubble. It's no different than any of my other thumbnails.
It's your face, your image, anyway. But it's good to be back. Good to be back.
I'll keep these on.
Unless, you know what though, I've got a quota that we're putting in on the show for Ed. Ed needs a quota to control his excitement level. It's too goddamn early, even for me to be.
Well,
I've
been building this up for 2 weeks, you know, and all that. But family stuff happens. Oh, so before we get to the intro and chat, here, hold on a second. Let me put myself in solo layout. So, y'all see, I'm gonna say this here real quick. Y'all see behind me the plushie, right? I kid you not, because like my wife didn't know that I had gotten that from last year from pre-order. She's like, why? She's like, why do you have like a hairy testicle plushie? It's like sitting there.
You know, I could see that. I could easily see that. That's why I wouldn't show this to anybody.
and I had to tell her like it's for this game, like Flea, and here she's like this, like looking at me like I'm like an alien and all that. So yeah, I just wanted to get that away before I forgot. So before we do bring on our special guest and talk it up, let's go ahead and say hello to the chat. We got RGB TV in the house. We got Fan and Fiction. I know. So, hey, Dan, I know. And that's what I was going to take him off. So what's funny about that, it's the angle of the camera, and it's like the blue block protection for monitors on my new pair of glasses. So, yeah, there's some filter some way, that I can remove that.
We could just turn your visuals off.
Oh, yeah.
It works for me. It works for me. I've shaved bald and I've got a face tattoo now, but nobody will ever know.
Right.
I'm John Total Tyson right now.
Yeah.
Can anybody in chat? Can anybody chat guess the tattoo I got? Come on.
It's got to be of a Chicago style hot dog.
Yeah, with ketchup.
That is not Chicago style. You ruin it.
Oh my god. Alrighty, we got Lemony Pie, can't even talk comes across. We got Darren Chapman. We got this fool lurking here. We got Moose Kide. We got Stephen Beat, Dr. Freeman. Whoa, the chat is just blowing up here. We got Lucy Willis. We got Janoki. We got Jason Shears.
These are actually 3D glasses.
Yeah, and that is everybody so far. Those are pretty cool. So
those are awesome.
Whoever wants to jump in, how's your week been? How's everyone?
We're not starting until everybody in the chat hits the like button and subscribes to Ed. Then we'll start.
Sweet.
Otherwise, we're not starting.
You got to do that. Smash that like.
Yes. Thank you, Pete. Actually, I didn't even realize I just got over like 600 subs.
Don't smash the like. Other people have to use that button,
Thank you. Thank you, Pete.
But yeah,
the reason I'm saying that is because we need to get Ed to 1,000 subs. Because you know what? He is like a really mean dude off camera. He needs to get to 1,000 to kind of get his mood tempered out because
You might get
you know
meaner.
he needs to hit 1,000 to join the club, right, Rich?
That's right. That's right.
Oh my god, yes.
Wait till he gets monetized. There's no stopping him then. There's no stopping him.
Also, yeah, speaking of that, also grats to Crow Evercade there.
Yeah, Crow
Yeah.
Evercade. That channel's like growing like crazy. I'm gonna stop talking Evercade because Crow's just dominating out there. It's like
No,
right?
it's the thumbnail.
It was just it was a event just gonna happen eventually. So
No, it's awesome. No, but your channel's growing really well, Crow. Your Crow Evercade. So the Crowverse is really strong.
yeah, the pinball channel should be next pretty soon if I ever make more videos for it.
He's gonna have money coming in all over the place. It's so awesome.
It's gonna be no different than what it was before I broke all the channels up.
Hey man.
So how's everyone's week? What have y'all been doing?
It's been pretty cool. I actually have been hard at work on directly Evercast related things in the background, but it's all top secret hush hush. So.
Oh yes.
Evercast stuff? How come I don't know about it?
Yeah,
You do know about it. You forgot.
will.
Oh yeah, I do know about it. Never mind.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's some cool stuff coming, and it's been a long time in the wait, but we are ready to rock. So
Yeah.
so that's basically been my week. So
I just got back. So anybody who's been on my channel, I've been responding to comments, but I haven't really done or recorded a new video in a while, except the Evercade one. My mom has been really sick, so I've been traveling to the East Coast supporting her. So, but she's hopefully on the road to recovery, and so yeah, I'm back. So I'll be more communicative in community tab and stuff like that. So
awesome.
I'm back.
Good news that the road to recovery is there. So.
Yes, it's been tough. It's been 4 months of the big C, right? So it's been a bit challenging. So, but it's think positive and move forward.
That's right.
Sorry, Ryan was making me laugh there. We do have him locked in the shed. We're gonna I think we're gonna bust him out here in a second. Yeah. All right. Well, you know what? Let's just go ahead. Let's just go ahead and do it. Let's bust him out. Let's add him.
That's right.
I'm free.
How's it going?
There he is. Look at him
going,
go.
Ryan.
Yeah, I'm good, thank you. Thanks for having me. It's been a couple of years, hasn't it now, or a year and a half? I don't know.
Yeah,
it's been a
while.
Yeah,
Feels like forever. Yeah.
For sure.
Well, time flies, when you're having fun. Been casually lurking, watching behind the scenes, watching the Evercast and seeing how you guys getting on. And yeah, it's great to be here.
Very cool. Well, thanks definitely for joining us.
Yeah. Thanks for having me.
I love hearing professional Ryan as opposed to backstage. Like
How was
that? He's much more calm and professional when he gets on the call. It's quite refreshing.
Oh yeah. No, I'm all about being professional and stuff, and it's actually kind of scary. I'm sure Sean's watching and like sweating profusely. It's like, oh God, what is he going to say next?
Oh, that's good. Stress Sean.
Yeah.
out.
See, we've actually gone ahead and we've banned Sean from the chat and from the channel, so he can't say anything. So you're free. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, everybody, chat here. Feel free to post your questions. We're gonna be talking about stuff, but if y'all post something interesting, I'll highlight it. If you have any questions for Ryan, and we'll definitely talk about it.
I see a bunch of hellos and stuff. So yeah, hi guys, and talking hedgehog. That's me, and yeah.
Nice.
So actually, I'm kind of been curious. This we do have one right off the bat. I think are we getting an announcement like next week or so on the second cart for May?
Well, the Team 17 is we are doing it in pairs, with the minor exception of Indie Heroes 3. So yeah, there will be an announcement very soon for that.
That sounds like a Sean question, right, Ryan?
Yeah, no, the only reason I know that is because I've been working on it. So, but no,
see, I knew he would know. I just thought.
Yeah, no, the other. I guess the other thing is, is we're working on firmware at the moment, right? So we've had a bit of a news week, I guess, as it were. Editions hitting people's hands, and then we announced Team 17, and then we just released an update for the original handheld. There you go, as modeled by Rich there. yeah, we're going to have like the EXP and the VS firmware coming out. The VS has got actually quite a huge update for it, so that's going to be quite cool. So yeah, getting there.
No, that's exciting.
Cool.
I can't wait. I'm more excited about your software updates, Ryan, to be honest with you, like what you guys are going to do.
Yeah,
like,
I'm looking forward to the VS update.
yeah.
Yeah,
I'm actually been playing my
yeah.
VS a lot because I've had friends and family come so much since the pandemic ended, and feels like the only thing we're playing is our VS because we have all the controllers. It's awesome.
I know
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
the only thing I play.
yeah. I'll be honest, like, but you know, I grew up with like handhelds and stuff. Obviously, I also grew up with like games consoles and home computers. But yeah, I'm actually more of a VS fan personally. I hate to say it, but yeah, I just like that form factor. So, no.
Here's an important question. Hey Ryan, will version 4.0 make coffee? You know, that's what Andre's
If
asking.
it does, I'm going to throw it away.
No.
I tell you what, we need like one of those like Evercade coffee machine like alarm clocks. You know, they're so cool. Like back in the 80s, they used to like timer goes off and then like makes the coffee and stuff. I really want one of them. I need
Or
one.
maybe a proper Evercade coffee mug. Just
But
saying.
couldn't you just do that with a regular wall timer?
Yeah, well, yeah, but that's just like takes away from it, doesn't it?
Oh,
We're all
okay.
about nostalgia, right? But yeah, no, I was just to come back on that the software guys. This year it's basically just all about the games and the software, right?
Woohoo.
Music to my ears, and probably
That's
that's
what we want.
in chat.
That's what we wanted to hear.
We've been working, I would say, literally from October on 2023. Different games, different emulation. We've got new systems coming out this year. We've got new features, and I suppose you guys have already seen like we just like recently overhauled the Atari stuff. That was 2 years in the making.
Oh, wow.
That reminds me, I should try that out.
Because everybody has been like complaining about it, mainly that steeplechase thing because people couldn't jump over the hedges. So we're just going to go. We've just been basically going through all of the bugs and requests and comments and suggestions for literally the last 3 years, and basically going through and basically just trying to do right and do a bit of fan service, really. So
That's awesome.
Yeah, you did a lot of work on that. Actually, if we go down, you all have added tons of stuff like the coin limiter, tracking stats, basically like a lot of the things to kind of match the current stuff, and then improve typos, and then where's that? Yeah, Atari. Yeah, overhauled Atari 1 and 2 emulation, like difficulty switches, missing buttons, all kinds of cool stuff.
My assumption is, Ryan, the next update for the EXP and the VS will just automatically include a lot of the stuff that's not the same from the 3.0 for the OG, right? So you will get all these Atari fixes.
Yeah. So you get all the Atari fixes on the VS. You get it all on the EXP. So the VS didn't have the DRC, didn't have the power switch. It's got like the new menu system as well, like what we dubbed the ellipsis. So we got all of those things in there. I've also got a couple of new secret games, just like separate from cartridges to add in at some point. So,
will we get the other ones coming? Will the other ones come back? Sorry, I'm just because you mentioned secret games. Will we get the other secret games to the EXP?
Yeah. So you're talking about Hummings and Fairy.
Yeah, the PC ones.
Yeah. No, we'll be adding those back in. We had a couple of issues before launch, so
I can't wait to play that on the EXP screen.
Yeah, no. I've actually played it on the EXP. It's great. But yeah, we have a number of new titles, and like I said, it's a year of fan service, right? There's a bunch of things that we wanted to do over the last 3 years, which we haven't been able to do till now. We've definitely got some curveballs, right? I like to think that we always at least once or twice a year throw out there something that no one's expecting. So we definitely got a few of those this year. So you're gonna have to keep your eyes open.
That's excellent. Okay, we have a question, and maybe so. This has the battery issue been resolved for the? I think you meant the.
Can you
the
explain
EXP.
the issue? So everybody knows what the issue is?
So that's what I was wondering. Like, I've heard various things. Is there an issue? Because I know initially, like with the OG, there was a few fixes. Like I know now, like where it's syncing, like the time percentages are better. Is kind of that what they're meaning, the battery optimizations? Because I know you guys.
No. So we actually maybe. Let me think of the best way to put it. There's basically been next to no issues with the actual hardware itself. The problem is that with the EXP, I was actually telling you guys off stage.
Yes.
We got a custom bespoke battery built in the EXP, and with the EXP, we've got this chip, which is the same chip we got in the VS. And that chip provider, Rock Chip, the driver they provide you, like the software, is just crap. So the bottom line is the accuracy on some, and literally it's just a handful of units at the moment. The readout is the accuracy of that percentage isn't great, but it's something that we're working on and improving. And it's going to be unfortunately a slow thing that we're going to fix, because it's when we did the pre-production run, everything was fine, and then when we got to handhelds out, and then we noticed that driver wasn't as great as it should. So I mean, on the 3.04, which we got coming out soon, I believe is probably maybe next week or the week after, that comes with a bunch of improvements to the battery readout, accuracy, and stuff like that. And
look at this. You could actually control the line in the second game of Canyon Bomber. This was unplayable before.
Yeah, we're fixing everything.
Neat.
So the short answer is there's a fix, there's an improvement in the next update, and we'll be doing more updates to it over the next few updates. So it'll be fine.
That's awesome.
Very cool.
But no. I see Crow's now going to be playing Atari all over again now.
I kind of have to, because I scored a lot of these games really low because they couldn't be played the way they were supposed to be played.
Yeah, no, we had like there was like a list of 10 things on the list for Atari, and we thought, you know what, just sod it, we'll just rebuild the emulator pretty much from scratch again.
Oh, and, look at this. The one trigger now toggles on and off the difficulty switches instead of turning it on and not being able to turn it off.
Yeah.
So for like adventure, you could go to the third difficulty. Oh, see, guys, that's excellent. Blaze listens. They fix stuff. Sure, it takes some time, but we got there. That's all that matters.
Yeah, and I think the we were talking about 2023 about games. We've brought on a couple more people. Yeah, every year the team expands. And we've got a couple more guys doing testing and QA. We've got another couple of guys doing emulation development. And like I said, we've got a couple new systems coming out, hopefully this year. Again, hopefully some curveballs, that things people are not expecting. So it's going to be an exciting year. I know it's exciting for me, but I can't wait for you guys to find out, basically.
Heck yeah. Oh, Andy, the firmware, it's out now for the OG. Actually,
yesterday or 2 days ago. I can't remember.
Yeah, I posted.
That's actually what I'm playing with right now.
Yeah.
I actually got the Mac updater to update. So I've Rich actually helped me test that. So we'll be putting the Mac updater for the OG out today probably, and we'll do the Linux one in probably like a couple of weeks.
What I think is fantastic too, and actually I didn't scroll on far enough that you all said you're still, with proof of purchases, warranties still being honored on the OG handhelds. If you had issues with Rio, you can still contact support. And I love that, that you all said, which makes so one thing I think which is great, that makes a lot of sense, which I liked about that is you said, hey, we tried to put an embedded game, but with the limitations, it's just too much. And I agree with that. It's like I like how you all got it to where it needs to be for compatibility. And then I like there was a statement at the bottom, hey, if like a new game comes out and there's a major breaking bug, we'll look into updating it. So I think it's fantastic, and this is the way that it had to go, that the OG handheld, we had to kind of give a send off, and now the EXP and the VS are match up. So I love the direction.
I gotta ask though about Atari Arcade 1 and Asteroids.
Ooh.
What is going on with that?
Yeah, I was expecting this one.
Great one.
Okay. Hard hitting questions, Kuro. Yeah, I'll be brutally honest, and hopefully there's no minors watching. But yeah, we cocked up that one. Basically, we was given a bunch of the ROMs from the licensor, and yeah, we was doing 10 million things at once. And to be honest, it completely went under the radar. And yeah, it's not easy to make work. It is on the list, and it's never not going to be on the list, and it is something that we're going to be looking at.
Well, is the plan to replace it with Asteroids Deluxe, or just make it Asteroids?
No, the idea is that we want to do the deluxe version, but there's a bunch of reasons which basically result in having to rebuild half the game to make it work, which is not ideal.
Oh wow!
And so it's just more of a case of working out and allocating time for it, right? We're working on a couple of bugs at the moment, like chain reaction.
I mean, as long as it's in the works, the pipeline to have it corrected, because I wasn't sure if it was just going to be left the way it was or not.
No, I could throw that whole small team excuse, but it's more a case of we're trying to weigh up like what do people want, right? So people want new features, they want new games, they want new things, they want bugs fixed. So yeah, I mean every week we're kind of like weighing up what can we do, what can we fix, what can we add.
And plus, it's not like the game's not playable. There is a game there. It's just not the right game.
Right.
Yeah.
Close enough for the time being.
Yeah. And I mean, those, after those 4 initial arcade carts, we got a guy, David Hayward, who's like this, like god in terms of like arcade emulation. He's doing an amazing job, and he's been working on every single cart arcade system since. And he literally just he takes them and basically works his magic on every single game. He'll play through it and optimize it and get it as close as accurate as possible. And yeah, like the one that I was super impressed with was In the Hunt, right? That runs phenomenally on the Evercade, and yeah, it was super.
I think the original hardware, that arcade hardware that ran on, was a little bit underpowered for that game to begin with. But I played through it. It runs fine it runs as well as it can imagine from the arcade version.
So. Yeah, for sure.
We lost Pete. I'm sure it's just a connection issue, and he'll come back.
Yeah. It shows on my end that
devices disconnected.
Okay, just the device is just like
so. You know what though? It could be the ghosts or whatever. Because like for those of you who don't know, the Evercade poster behind me on Calling on Retro Gamers the other night. It just started falling apart. Yes.
It was weird.
Yes, which I said, hey, that's a sign though, because it means that that I was going to change that out for whatever comes new in like limited edition, and then the next day we got the announcement. So
that's right.
It was reminiscent, like no joke.
and the day after the announcement, we got at least I got my email that it already shipped, so that was awesome.
Yeah.
It's really good stuff.
So we're all excited about that. Yes, finally.
Yeah. I mean, that's another hat tip to everybody at Blaze, because that was like understanding that was a pretty huge lift, for them to be able to do all of that. Like, and it's just awesome that it worked out the way it did. I know it's not amazing to have to wait for your stuff, but it's probably one of the best scenarios that I've experienced in having to wait for things. So
yeah.
I haven't touched the EXP, and I did that on purpose. So for me, it's going to be super special. So it'll be my first time just getting my hands on the EXP, and it's a limited edition. So Yeah, sorry, Ryan, didn't mean to cut you off, but yeah.
No, I was just saying it was that like fuck. I can't even begin to tell you how weird that was. It was a punch in the balls, really. It was we worked so hard to get it working, get it out, get it on time, and for it to get stolen. And I remember the call from Andrew, and he told me, and I started laughing, as in like he was joking, and then he wasn't, and then I was like, oh, yeah, that was just insane. But it's a big relief actually, because I mean, it was in the warehouses Thursday, and I think people started getting them yesterday, today, and I'm sure you guys stateside will probably get them early next week. It's a huge relief, right? Because all we wanted to do was get that out the door, kind of thing.
Right.
So yeah, we were on the phone with the factory every week, trying to get it, and trying to get a date, get it as close as we possibly could, but that's one thing that was just overwhelming, really, and very humbling, was that the people who actually pre-ordered it, and but everybody's pretty much stuck with it, everybody,
good.
Everybody was really understanding, and kind of stood by us, and I did laugh at a few of the tinfoil hat people out there.
So speaking that you mentioned that, and I assume this is a joke. Yeah, sure, there'll be some surplus. I assume that was meant as a joke, Dave. There's a surplus black EXPs going on sale.
What was funny was that I remember I couldn't decide whether or not I wanted to buy the Founders Edition or just a regular one. And I just decided to buy the Founders Edition because that was the first one that was available. And then I remember seeing that email. It's like, okay, I guess I'm buying the original one.
Right.
Yeah, no, but yeah, it's a huge weight off our shoulders, and yeah, like I said, we're working on software a lot. So the new OG software, so that's come out this week. BS and the EXP come out this week. It kind of gives us a level playing field, right? So then we'll be looking at starting Game of the Month again. So yeah, that's going to be really good. We've got a massive game for to kick that off, so I'm really excited about that.
That's awesome. Very excited.
And yeah, it's weird because like we've literally spent, like I said, like since October, we've kind of been like quiet in the back end and in the background, kind of just like working away for like 2023, and now it's kind of coming to a head. So it's just going to be thing after thing after thing after thing, and
that's cool.
Everybody's got stuff to get excited about. So
yeah, and the that's kicking off, like what is like 3-4 weeks now, right? The Game of the Month. That's gonna be awesome.
Yeah, that came out really well. The original idea for that was like around Satellaview. So obviously because we're like retro, right? So
sure.
Everything what we try and do is like, oh yeah, Satellaview, that was really cool. It's we're really cool to like redo that kind of thing, and that's how Game of the Month came out. And then everybody associated it like Game Pass on Xbox, and it's like, no, it's Satellaview.
Yeah, it's not even subscription. It's like
right. Yeah, you just get it.
Right.
So, but yeah, we try.
That's awesome. So I had a question relating to secrets and stuff. Are we at a point where someone maybe somewhere has found all of them, or has there been stuff that hasn't been found out in like years?
Yeah, there's still a couple that haven't been found.
That's awesome.
But yeah, like I said, there's some more to go in. There's quite a lot more to go in, actually. We was focusing on so the kind of things that we were dealing with was kind of basically fulfilling people's requests and fixing things like the Atari stuff. We was just trying to make sure that we kind of fixed all that stuff up and got it all good and made good before we started adding in all like the extra stuff. But it just so happened that we got a ton of that stuff now, like kind of sitting around. So You could definitely expect that coming over the next few months.
That's awesome.
Little secrets, and
Oh,
I know we like to shout about them, but maybe we'll try and keep quiet and see how long it lasts.
Ooh.
I'm actually
both of you
doing
guys
that
are
right
playing
now,
your
Stephen.
Evercades, yeah.
Yeah.
What's up?
Well, I'm having to host, so
Yeah, I am. Hey, well, we mentioned the Atari. Hey, what's up, Geek Historian? We NBCB. I saw you in there. You mentioned Atari, and I was like, all right. Well, I wonder if like all my faves are, like they're still feeling good and working good. And here I am sitting around as we're chatting, and I'm at 42,000 on asteroids already. So
it's funny because I know I documented like all these games I had issues with, and now I can't remember any of them. So I'm trying to go through based on how I ranked the games, and it's like Street Racer was like dead last in our Atari collection too. And I'm sitting here playing this like now thinking, what was wrong with this? This plays just fine. I don't know what the fix was, but I might have to go back and rewatch my video on it to figure out what I didn't like about it originally.
yeah,
well,
yeah.
that's good though. It's running smooth.
So it means I'm probably gonna have to remake videos on both these cartridges because everything seems to be working really good.
Well, I mean, well, one thing for me on Atari is just like, as long as I can sit around, and it felt great before the whatever fixes, because it's like as long as I can sit around and play Asteroid 2600 and it feels great, then I'm a happy camper. And like I said, like I'm still sitting here, and it's and here we are. We're going to town here, and it's great stuff.
Nice.
I wonder if Pete lost his power like I did on Thursday.
Oh,
That's part of the reason why my video came out a lot later than I thought it was going to be, my reaction video, because it was like around 8 o'clock my time when that video came out. I made the video, and then as soon as I threw all the files into Premiere, my power went out, which meant I couldn't even work. So I was sitting there for like 4 hours waiting for the power to come back on. And when it did, I was so far behind on work, I just had to concentrate on that for a while.
Yeah, sometimes the timing.
Listeners like, what's clicking? It's me.
Yeah. It could be unfortunate. I'm sure that's what it is. Internet power issues, which is the timing on that. It happens. It happens to the best of us.
I think Pete's just gone in hiding because he knew I was going to tease him about the Amiga announcement.
We can.
That sounds like a segue.
Yeah.
I'm really good at this podcast stuff.
We can definitely talk about that and get the trailer that I may have.
We're just running a book report.
The
the book report is how to wipe the scoreboard on.
So here's something I need to set straight. So I was confused. I thought Alien Breed I got it confused with Alien Syndrome. I'm glad they're different games because at first I thought it was a port of it. So I'm even more psyched about that. So that's what I just
yes.
Well, apparently Alien Breed. I'm not that familiar with the Amiga stuff, but Alien Breed apparently is one of the really most popular like Team 17 franchises. Apparently there's a ton of Alien Breed games. I think there's 3 of them on there, but like there's I don't know how many more out there. I mean, we looked at Alien Breed 3D, and that's not even on here. So,
well, I got to save some for collection too. So, Ryan, here's what I thought was funny about this. It's like, okay, fine, y'all had to include a sports game for both. I thought it was interesting. Like if it was, let's say, like arcade snooker or something, I'd understand. Like, okay, it's a British company, but pool, I don't know. Who picked that one?
Oh, actually, you know what? I had a lot of people comment in my video saying that when they grew up playing the Amiga, that pool game was one of their favorite games.
Really?
So apparently it's a lot better than it looks.
So it's a fan favorite.
It's a fan favorite.
Okay. I'll give it a chance.
So the Team 17 one, right? I guess it's like it's a British developer, publisher. So, I don't know what it's like stateside, but a lot of these games have a bit of a cult following. And again, like this arcade pool game, it's quite a big favorite of a bunch of people. I'm not sure about the bowling game, but Crow likes bowling, so
somebody actually commented saying that they like that bowling game in particular. So people, I
That
got
bowling
positive.
was
I got nothing negative about. Actually, the only negative comment I had about this collection was somebody claiming that. It's just the same game again and again, and all these games were on the Amiga A500. I'm looking, I like really, and I looked, and I was like, only 3 of these games were on the Amiga 500.
Yeah, no, this is so this okay. Let's talk about that. So Amiga, this whole like we don't usually talk about licensing or how we license things or who we license. But in this particular instance, we partnered with Cloanto, who have basically the rights to the Amiga Kickstart ROMs and everything. So everything that we're doing with Amiga is completely independent from whatever's been out there in the past. And yeah, so Team 17, we did Worms in the past. It was literally our first go-to when we secured the Amiga because there's Alien Breed, right?
Yeah.
Alien Breed, what a game! Amazing game. Like I just love it. I love it. I wasn't a huge Amiga person, to be honest. I was more of a C64 person. But Amiga, always Alien Breed. So that was like a no-brainer for me. There is one other game, Super Frog, which I know I've seen
Yes.
people say about Super Frog. Yeah. It was brought up a few times, but I don't think they had the license for it.
If I remember correctly, they got a remake not too long ago. So I wonder if that has something to do with it.
Yeah, but yeah, no, it's and it all like the Amiga content and stuff, whatever you expect. There's going to be crossover everywhere, even with the C64 stuff. But yeah, there's a bunch of stuff which is coming, which hasn't been done before. So
I think I ended my response like, comparing it to the A500 is kind of moot anyway, since you can throw any game you want on that thing and play it.
Yeah, but this is the thing, right? You could do all of this, and this is kind of like the nice thing about Evercade is that you see people, and I just answer the question in the chat, right? For like Tower Assault, do you have to bring up the virtual keyboard to show up the map, or is it mapped to a button? Well, if you threw Tower Assault on the Mini, you would have to bring up the virtual keyboard to bring up the map and stuff.
Yeah.
We've Amiga, right? We've been working on that since November, the emulation. A guy called James who's been slaving away on it, and we might as well have rewritten the thing from scratch. But yeah, every game has everything remapped for each individual game. It's configured for each individual game, so you can literally just pick up and play, right? And hopefully just look at the manual and off you go. You don't have to change all the configuration. You don't have to change all the settings. You don't have to try and source the thing.
Well, yeah.
And I think that's why this is quite the home computer stuff for Evercade is going to be a big thing because it's so much easier. And I know for a fact that getting stuff like the C64 stuff, getting Amiga stuff configured correctly and running right, mapped correctly, it's a challenge in itself, right? And people don't want to be dealing with that hassle.
I just had to try this after I put the Atari collections in the updated Evercade. I put it in the XP, and everything now works on there too.
Yeah. We also updated the patching system as well. So.
Nice.
I'm not showing it anymore, and I'm blurry.
What'd you do, Crow, to the EXP?
Look, you can control the height of the jump now. And
but what'd you do?
I updated the original. I played the games I had the carts in there, and then I swapped it into the EXP.
That's a good way to get around waiting for the firmware on the EXP.
The only thing is that the controls that what it shows on the screen hasn't been updated yet.
No, that'll come. Yeah, that's pretty cool. Sorry, I had some technical difficulties, so I'm back though.
I thought you were
talking about the Amiga collection or the Team 17 collection.
Yeah, I was. I thought you were running away from me because I was going to tease you about Alien Breed and ask you why you don't like Alien Breed.
Oh, I love Alien Breed. So apparently you didn't watch my video, Ryan.
Oh, I did, but
You didn't watch my video because I was praising Alien Breed.
I think he was being sarcastic.
I wanted more Alien Breed. I even want the clone of Doom, Alien Breed 3D. Have you played that, Ryan?
yeah.
It's not that great. But
He's like, yeah.
it's not as good as Doom,
So-
but the SNES Doom. But yeah, anyway, no, I had mixed feelings on this collection. I'm not like, you can't like everything, right? But I am a big fan of being able to play Alien Breed on the go because I have all the Alien Breeds on my A500. But I'm a mobile gamer first. Like everybody knows that. I do I'd say 90% of all my gaming is on my handheld. So for me, it's a win.
Yeah.
I'm not a big fan of the other games on there, but in fairness,
Nice.
I've only tried 2 of them, and I wasn't a fan. So
Yeah. Well,
the
just
arcade
you
pool.
wait,
This
Pete.
fighting game looks full contact.
but I'm gonna buy it
I hope that's
anyway.
good, like,
So don't
Yeah,
pay attention to me. Like this
You know,
game
the-
here, All Terrain Racing.
That was the one I was looking forward to the most on this. But the fighting
Body
games,
blows.
I guess the most positive comment I got about the fighting games is, oh, that's a really good fighting game for the Amiga.
Yeah.
Um,
Well,
Oh.
let's talk about All Terrain Racing. I'm worried about All Terrain Racing because I want to like it, but it has to have good controls. And that's not on Evercade. That's on the original game, and I haven't played it. So if it's got good controls, I like these games. But controls is everything.
Okay, well, I'll just Google, does alter.
So Ryan, does that
Racing
have good control?
Heck yeah.
Yeah, so it's hard. That's the main issue with that game. It controls really well, but it's just hard.
Yeah.
It's quite fast paced, so it's one of those ones which you have to try a few times to like learn the track, and kind of work out where you're kind of going. And once you've done that, then it's a really fun game. It's like Super Skid Marks, just a little bit like.
Oh, don't say that. I don't like that game.
Oh.
Hopefully better controls.
Yeah, no, but you said like the body blows and stuff. Body blows is like again has its own little cult following. When we did all our like research.
Yeah, I've heard people talking about body blows before. That was the fighting game I heard about. The other one I didn't.
I mean, bowling has me interested because there's a lot of people that, like, I'm not personally a person who gravitates towards playing like bowling and pool and darts in video game form. I'd rather do that in real life. But there is a market of people out there in game who enjoy it. But I think if the one sport, like I guess you can call them sports or whatever, that I would play on video game forums would be bowling, just because I grew up playing bowling on Atari and television and stuff. So that one I'm interested in a little bit.
But what do you do if you want to bowl and the bowling alley's closed?
I don't go bowling. I play my Evercade. I play
You can play bowling on your Evercade.
I know. That's what I'm saying. I'm a little intrigued by that one. But you know what though? Put a good dart game on there, because it seems like no bars or clubs anywhere you can play darts in real life anymore. So put a dart game on.
Okay, let me say that if there was, it's a lot easier to put a dartboard in your house than a bowling alley.
Yeah, I've got 2 kids. I ain't putting darts anywhere near my house. I'd have like give my children weapons.
Ah.
But yeah,
I'd rather play Windjammers than real frisbee. Well,
So Ryan, I
funny
have a
because-
question for you.
For me,
Sorry,
for me, yeah, go ahead.
I'll ask this question quickly. Is this an Amiga collection or is this a Team 17 collection?
It's a Team 17 Amiga collection. It's both.
Yeah, I would say it's a Team 17 Amiga collection, and I'm not going to give anything away, but like, yeah.
I'm assuming we'll get an Amiga collection with a varied games from different publishers. That's my assumption I have.
But I tell you what's actually quite interesting. A good thing to think about, right? If you talk about like Super Nintendo, Mega Drive, PlayStation 1, Nintendo 64, any of those like kind of console games, if you came up with like a top 100 list, there'll be quite a crossover with everybody's top 100. Okay, so they'll be like, oh yeah, Super Mario's in my top 5, or Sonic's in my top 10. But when it comes to home computer, everybody has a different nostalgic view on games. because there was thousands of games for the home computer. And when we do carts, we always try and curate our collections. Okay, so obviously there's an element of licensing, what's available, and all of that. But we always try and get like, you know, the classic, you know, and like a really good solid game, which is just super fun, which no one's really heard of, like the hidden gem. And then just put some great games in there, or games that might be nostalgic for a lot of people, but maybe aren't necessarily aged well, or, you know, we try and cater for everything. And the home computer stuff, now Team 17 for us was like a big thing, because, you know, who doesn't love Alien Breed? And like you said, like Body Blows, even Arcade Pool, they have their own little cult following, and it's quite nostalgic for a lot of people, especially in the UK. I can't say for Europe or whatever, but it's difficult. It's super difficult. And I was watching Crow's videos about the C64 collections, and it's, I think even you mentioned it before, like it's difficult to kind of hit on that nostalgic element for home computer, because everybody had their own like floppies and
well, yeah, that's what I say. Like in the UK, the Commodore 64 experience is completely different than it was over here, because everybody here had disk drives, whereas, as far as I understand, everybody in the UK had tape drives.
Yeah, you had to be like really posh or rich to have a disk drive. we was lumbered with like the 30-minute load times on the cassette, you know.
I remember in the final days of the C64, we had a 3.5-inch floppy disk drive, and I remember copying all the 5 1/4 discs to a 3, like just to consolidate all the games into fewer discs. I remember doing that on a Commodore 64.
Yeah. Well, just maybe we should do like a tape adapter for the DS or the handheld, you know, so you could.
It's fun. Yeah, that'd be funny. Yeah, you can combine it with a Walkman from.
Yeah.
Right.
That's nostalgia gone too far.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. So you know, home computer. Just to finish that up, that whole long-winded story. It's difficult to hit on that nostalgic thing, but I feel like what we've got in the pipeline, we're hitting some buttons, right? We're going to hit some people's buttons, and there's going to be some curveballs. There's going to be some like kind of half expected stuff, and there's going to be stuff that people are just not going to be aware of, and hopefully they're just going to explore and love and kind of thing. So exciting stuff.
That's awesome.
Very
awesome.
awesome.
So I think we're all excited about that Team 17 collection, or the Alien Breed collection is. But yeah, you know, some things like Body Blow, I mean, that'll be interesting and fun, and give them all a chance. For me though, I will say, like, as far as like the art style and the graphics and the type of games like that, I'm really looking forward to, like kind of like playing like the different, because around that, for me, what looks a little bit more nostalgic, let's say, than the C64 collection is, I can kind of remember when like Super Nintendo and all that were like a thing. And kind of even before that, when Nintendo was a thing, but computer had a little bit better edge on the graphics and kind of a little bit different. So I kind of remember that, but I was more of a console kid. So yeah, I'm looking forward. I haven't played any of these games, so
it depended. It flopped back and forth for a while between what looked better, whether a PC looked better or than a console. Because for a while, consoles were like way easier to play games on. They were way more responsive. The computer games sometimes they wouldn't play the same type of games as well as a console, but then, there were other types of games. You had a little more of a choice, I suppose. You could even write, go look in the magazine and type in the code to play, whatever game was in the magazine. But yes, it was completely different for one way or another. But now it's kind of converged. It's almost the same, whether or not you're playing on a PC or PlayStation 4 or 5 or something. They each have their own ecosystems, and they both have hard drives.
True. So I know I've been seeing some questions, and some of them have just been like flying through like real fast, and we've been saying some like great stuff and some interesting questions, a few silly ones. But yeah, if anyone if anyone wants to re-ask or put those questions, feel free to do so while we.
I saw a bunch of questions, and I'm sorry, people. I did see your questions, but I wasn't ignoring you. I was just kind of talking a lot of crap basically. So if you've got any more questions, then just re-ask them.
So it's Ryan's fault, is what he's trying to say.
Like I said, I'm really good at this podcast stuff, you know.
Sometimes I forget there's a chat.
How could you, Crow? No, I know what you mean though. We just like get the zone and and totally like forget like, oh yeah, there's chat and questions and.
No, I saw one about light guns and stuff. Yeah. So I love light guns, light gun games. Maybe one day.
Could you imagine trying to playing a light gun game with a you're like
I don't think that would work, but in some way, shape or form, totally. I would love to do light gun stuff at some point in my life, anyway.
That's really awesome.
It's like, wait, didn't save all the questions. Yeah, I know. Oh, but Andy does Dreamcast. So
Dreamcast. Well, look, so.
Well, here's the thing: is like with the Dreamcast, you need an analog stick to begin with.
Yeah, I mean, so there's. Let's talk about like new console, or I say newer consoles, right? So we did PS1, obviously, and I think everybody wants like Nintendo 64 and Dreamcast and stuff. And there's always that thing that Sean always says, like never say never.
Mm-hmm.
But all I can say is that they're technically feasible. We have the ability and we have the power. So I guess it's also, as generations go on, what we considered retro, like back in the day, like Atari and stuff, that's going to and then it was Super Nintendo, Mega Drive. Eventually it's going to be like Nintendo 64, PlayStation 1, Dreamcast. So, if we're ever going to carry on doing retro or what we consider retro, that's going to be the new retro thing, right? So never say never.
Mm.
Yeah, and then kind of along those lines, for me, I would rather see something like Neo Geo Pocket or Wonder Swan, the games that would play like really well on the handhelds. Because I mean, if I'm being honest, and maybe I have a different view, as far as something like N64 and like Dreamcast, like the games where wherever like you can emulate and play that and other stuff. What I like about the Evercade is that the games like that we don't know about as much, right?
Mm.
You know what I mean? So that if I'm being honest, that excites me more. Not saying that wouldn't be cool sometime down the future, but I like what y'all are doing with the games that we don't know about as much.
Yeah. So I'm just going through these quick. Mention controls for Amiga games. Any tweaks? Every single game on that Amiga cart got a tweak or controller tweak or some sort of work done to it. So yes is the answer.
Well, yeah, that's why some of the games on the C64 collection were a lot easier to play on the Evercade because those buttons were remapped to buttons rather than keys. Or so I think in Stormlord even you could push a button to jump instead of pushing up, although you could still do that.
Yeah. No, we have a guy called Pete. He kind of does all the editorial for our manuals, and usually he goes through and goes. Ruins my life, really, basically going, it'd be really good if you could do this. And I'm like,
Here's an interesting question
go and add it.
From Steven. He's asking around, what do you think might be the most niche platform you might do a cart for, like BBC Micro or Apple II?
Oh, so
go on. Bally Astrocade.
Yeah, I'm just trying to remember what the. So I was really gung ho about doing a Fairchild Channel F cart.
The controllers on that were ridiculous. I owned one for a while.
And basically that is the whole reason why it would never work. If
you're not familiar,
control system.
The controller had a handle, and you could push up, down, left, right. You could twist it left or right. You could left twist it, and you could pop it up and down. That's how the controller worked.
Yeah, and just realistically, feasibility-wise, it just wouldn't translate. So, but yeah, Fairchild would have been the.
Someone's playing a game. I hear like that weird whistling. I don't know if anyone else.
I hear it.
It's just like
Well, that's me.
Ghost, man. It's haunted.
That's me. I'm playing C64 Collection.
Nice.
Ah.
That's awesome.
Lucy asked, "Are we getting more stuff?" Yeah, on Dick consoles we haven't had. I'm not dropping any hints, but there's at least 2 new platforms coming in 2023.
Ooh, okay, that's an
That's very
exclusive.
cool.
You heard
So
that? Yeah.
there's your takeaway for this.
If I had to guess, I want to say new platform. I want to say Neo Geo.
That's a super hyper overload. Totally.
So that's my guess. That's my number one guess.
Huh.
Ballistic Coffee Boy. I would like a trackball accessory and carts. Yeah, I've got this volume spinner in my drawer, which I was meant to add support to for the VS for like a year and a half, which I'm still yet to do. But at some point, it's still on the list.
Ooh.
Would that make it compatible with the Atari collections, where you could use it like a paddle, or would it be for? Are you talking about a trackball or a spinner?
A spinner.
Okay.
But yeah, we could do trackball again. Like we never really found something that was good and viable and cheap.
Well, I built my own Atari paddles. It's pretty easy to do.
Well, so I mean, I keep either forgetting to mention or forgetting to ask about it, but would you consider something like possibly like maybe even doing support for the Atari VCS Classic controller, like on the VCS or on the VS?
Yeah. I mean, it's just a case of like grabbing one really and just adding the support. So I've got like a big huge tub full of like controllers and weird stuff I need to add support for at some point.
I built my own.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go.
Well, we might have to figure that out then, right?
Yeah.
I might. So one in the future update list will be supports for Crow Special Edition.
Yeah. Well, this is compatible with. I plugged this right into the Atari 2600.
So Crow could use it.
Yeah. Well,
There you go.
So actually, that's an interesting. So Tails asked an interesting question. Because I know we're doing computers. Do you think there could be the possibility of us getting some MS-DOS games? I kind of wondered that myself.
Well, there was more computers than just a C64 and Amiga. So let's put it like that.
Ooh. But some people have asked the same thing about like the Z Spectrum and all that stuff. And
yeah.
That would be my second guess.
Yeah, I figure that's much
there's
as
a
you can
big
say.
community out there.
Right,
all sorts of ZX Spectrum guys out there.
Yeah, I just saw one from Crazy Burger. He's got an obsession with Beast Wrestler.
Yeah, I saw that. It said Beast Wrestler 2. I was like, there was no Beast Wrestler 2.
Yeah, well, I'm teasing him. I'm saying that maybe that's our first game that we're going to build as Blaze.
So kind of along those lines, so Phantom is kind of so you guys are talking about like making compatibility for third-party accessories, or are you talk not necessarily putting out your own like trackball and whatnot, right?
So there's a bunch of people already trying. It's really crazy. You make a product, and then suddenly you have companies out there making third-party accessories for your products, which is a bit crazy, But I think to be honest, I think we said the exact same thing last year, and it didn't really pan out. But we are working on accessories. It is on the list. It is on the merch. I'm not sure about the coffee cup. The coffee cup does come up every year. And funny enough, I'm probably teasing. You can't see me right now, but I'm actually.
Me and Pete won't let that one die.
I know people want coffee cups, but just like the logistics behind cups is.
I know. I know Sean's talked about that on breaking and all that. So I was wondering when I was going to get teased on this. So yeah, Jason asked on behalf of Ed, when does Gremlin 2 release?
Wow. Yeah, I don't know. That's not a me question, I'm afraid.
Oh, you know what? Because somebody did ask something kind of along the line. What is your least favorite cart? And there, Ryan. I know someone asked that a while back.
My least favorite cart, just because it was such a pain in the ass, was the television.
Ooh.
Which one? One or two? The first one, probably.
Both. I actually loved the games. I loved the games on it. Loved playing it. It just took so much work to make right. And again, it's kind of like talking about the Fairchild thing with the controller. Trying to map like the keypad and all the buttons and making it coherent on the on like the gamepad. Yeah, that was just not fun. But we got it. Hopefully, we did a pretty good job hoping for that. And I know like, there's a couple of games, the racing game, which was a little bit weird still, but then that was what it was on the original console.
Yeah, and there was 2 different versions of that, and I think you picked the one that most people like better. I hadn't played it really before the Evercade, and it took me a while to get used to it, but once I did, I really liked it.
No, that's that's the one. That's the one where you could like go between 2 houses and drive into garbage, which is effectively like memory of the game.
But you know what though? I think it was a wise decision, like the Fairchild. Yeah, it would be cool, but if it's not going to play right, then yeah, that would have frustrated me.
Like I said, I had one for a while. I don't remember any games on that being like must-have games. Yeah. Like it was like a Pong machine, like the VCS, and so any game that was on the VCS was probably as I remember was better on the 2600.
So here's another interesting question, and I've seen people bring this up occasionally on Discord and the social medias. Like, is there have you guys thought about doing like a Tiger Electronics handheld collection? I don't know. I've kind of mixed feelings about that.
I think there's still a market for that, right? There's Tamagotchi. So Bandai are doing Tamagotchis. Well, I'm pretty sure they probably never stopped over in Japan and stuff, but they're starting to pop up in the UK a lot more, like the Tamagotchi kind of stuff. Mm-hmm. So I think there's like a resurgence of Tiger Electronic style games, and the kind of novelty things. But I don't really see that as an offering on the cart. I don't really see like there being enough there for everyone. But maybe we'll make some little Tiger Electronics in the future. I don't know. Might be fun. That's definitely retro, so it's nostalgic, I guess.
Well, that's something I never I don't understand why that is coming back, because the only reason I had those was because I didn't have a Game Boy. And then when I got a Game Boy, there was no way I was going to play those Tiger Electronic handhelds again.
Yeah. I think there would need to be like it would have to be like all of them to make it worth it, because I think it would kind of be like, hey, this is kind of fun and gimmicky, and then after a while, then it would just kind of stay on the shelf. Like it would be more of a collector's piece. It'd be like, hey, you can play all these Tiger Electronics.
You could do it like the what was it, the Gamecom, the Tiger Gamecom, whatever it was.
Yes.
You could totally do something where it wasn't as limited as what those Tiger Electronic games used to be, but it was in like a same style. So say if you did like a game which was like looked and felt like one of those kind of games, but was like a full-blown game, I mean, that'd be quite cool, I would imagine. It looked and felt like it, but then actually functioned like a proper game. That might be quite fun.
So this is interesting. Now, obviously, if you can't answer this, but because Jason was asked what developer is releasing for the third cartridge, or anything you can tell us about the third cartridge.
No, I can't say that.
I figured.
But yeah, we've there's some really good stuff coming out this year. Let's leave that.
So Crazy Bird asked an interesting question. What are the chances of us getting a Codemasters home computer collection? Or have you all thought about that'd be interesting?
So I know it's now EA, right?
That's right.
Oh,
Codemasters is EA, but that doesn't actually necessarily make it off the table.
Well, that's why, like with the Commodore 64, a lot back in the day when I was playing it, a lot of the games I played were from Electronic Arts. But then again, I wasn't holding my breath for any of those games to pop up on the Evercade.
Yeah, EA is a sore subject for the retro community. They don't generally do anything with their retro IP, and they'll just sit on it. So, unfortunate, but
yeah,
that's a surprise where I didn't say into Heroes 3. No, that's funny.
What I was going to say.
That's it.
That's the only combination to Heroes 3.
Yeah, see, that's what I thought. Tiger Electronics would have a lot of license. Yeah, it would kind of be a mess. Yeah.
I saw some mention of Pinball as well.
A pinball collection,
Oh,
Yeah, I mean, you guys are quite into pinball, right? Out there.
a little.
yeah.
Yeah.
A little.
Yeah. So that's another funny thing is like pinball wasn't obviously as huge as it was in the UK, but it was in
Mhm.
America, just or Canada, whatever, because we just don't have the space. It's like the arcades. So like the arcades down here, you'd probably have a lot more arcades than what we used to have. Generally speaking, we would only have arcades on like the seafront or like like little towns and bits and bobs. There would rarely be like a big blown arcade, but a lot of people have been asking about pinball recently. It would have been difficult to put on the original handheld, but now we have the EXP and the VS.
Tate mode. Yeah.
It might be something that we could look at in the future, right?
Nice.
When you're saying pinball, are you talking about like an original pinball emulation, or are you talking about just
Virtual pinball, like
virtual pinball,
yeah,
like ground up, not an existing game, but a new pinball game? Is that what you're talking about? Or are you talking about like pinball dreams or pinball fantasies that were on the Amiga?
I'm not a huge pinball kind of like wizard, as it were. The Who, haha. No, I'm not like a big pinball guy, but I understand that there's like, because we do like natives now, but there's a bunch of like native pinball stuff. So that's always something, maybe we could look at that in the future.
Oh, I see. Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
Tape mode would be
know.
nice because you could see the whole thing on the screen. That's what I think.
Yeah, because a bunch of people have been saying like, "Oh, we love pinball," and we've got a couple of console pinball games out.
Is funny thing as I got an ultra wide monitor, and I don't flip it for Tate mode, but what then I did, I bought another monitor to put above it, so I could put the DMD above the screen instead of off to the side.
Like Devil's Crush. Oh my god.
That would be a TurboGrafx 16. Yeah, Devil's Crush, Alien Crush.
I know this is more of a Sean question, but I don't know because all of us are always curious about like any Activision and getting the Atari games. I don't know if there's anything you can say about that, but
I think Andrew mentioned a long time ago that we did approach Activision, and it wasn't available. But
yeah,
it's again, we don't really talk about how we license and who we license and stuff. It's just all a bit of a minefield, but we're always constantly reapproaching people and stuff and trying our best. And maybe that door wasn't open at that point, but maybe it's now. But it's a combination of constantly going out for new things and stuff. So
of course. Of course, and I highlight, and believe we're all aware of that. I kind of feel like every time when you guys are on, if we talk about it, then the powers in the universe will hear it, and someday it'll happen, or maybe not.
No, I was expecting like, oh, when are you going to get Mario on there or something like that? So.
Actually, so funny that you mentioned that because Ballistic Coffee, that's a Legend of Zelda handheld game collection. Yeah.
You got to think about though, like I'm just putting my business hat on, and I would think the easiest license to get are already licenses that have been out in the market in the last 5-10 years, retro licenses that you've seen on mini consoles, standalone consoles, collections on other consoles. Those are probably easier to approach those companies because they're already out in the marketplace in this time. It got to be incredibly difficult to go find a collection that's not been published anywhere in the last 10 years. Like, so you look at Activision, they haven't published any of their retro games in at least, probably 10 years since they put it out. PlayStation 2, I think, right? So, that's got to be incredibly difficult. Like, so from a business perspective, chasing what's already in the marketplace in the last 5 years is probably the way to go, and just try to get them not just to republish those games, but say, hey, since you've already published these from your catalog, there's other ones that you haven't we'd like to have. That's how I'd approach the conversation, and it's probably the route. I don't want to speak for Blaze, but I'm pretty sure probably that's some of the route they're doing. I don't know, Ryan, if that makes sense or not.
Yeah, I mean, it totally makes sense. We have an added complexity with all of this where it's called cartridges.
Yep.
And when you talk to licensors and mention the word cartridges, it's like, okay, so you're a games publisher, but we're a games publisher. So why would you want to publish our games if we're a games publisher, kind of thing? It gets a little bit messy, but then, it's like the Capcom thing. Yeah, when we approached Capcom, we really worked on that for years, and and in the end, it was like, okay, but not as a cartridge, and I mean that's, again, tinfoil hats on, but you don't really say no to that kind of deal, and that was the best we could do with Capcom. But there's a lot of companies out there like that, who and that's why you would see like these kind of throwaway, or I would call throwaway retro devices where they have like a few games on it and then that's it, kind of thing. But they're a lot easier to get good games for, get licensing for. So that's just the way it works, I guess.
Yeah, a lot of people have been mentioning the as a collection to go for, a platform to go for, and I think it would be a no-brainer too. Well, for the XP, have you guys thought about Vectrex and actually having your own virtual overlay? Because the Vectrex, like we all know, it added plastic overlays, but you wouldn't need that. You can put your own on the Evercade, right? Digital.
Yeah, so I am actually super interested in Vectrex, and this is I swear I said this last time I was on the podcast, where I literally turned away a 3 Vectrex back in the day, like literally like 8 years ago.
Yeah,
I was like, nah, I don't want it. And then what an idiot.
You can even have a setting on the XP to have it without the overlay, the colored overlay, and like you can have both. I think it's almost a no-brainer, and even it would work on the VS, obviously. Like you can have it, but that's such an untapped retro market that most people have been priced out of and never really experienced Vectrex games because they've never been in a collection in modern times.
Yeah, I think they age really well.
Because the Vectrex graphics they're sweet, right?
Yeah,
Dude.
I used to love what was that game on play? It was on Xbox Arcade Live, Geometry Wars.
Yeah, I love that.
Oh
game.
yeah.
I love that.
Well, even like it has the Tempest feel, right? The Tempest games are kind of like, inspired and look a lot like the old Vectrex games.
Yeah, I just think they just like scream retro. They're super fun and stuff. So
and nobody's doing it. I don't even know who owns the license for that, but I'm just saying it feels like that's one of the things that kind of would serve the XP really well, especially with Tate mode.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yes. Looks
No,
like
Pete's
Sierra
100% right, because
might own it.
let's say even if you did
Okay.
try to go and emulate that, no one's gonna have the overlays. But if it was, I agree. Like if it was all built in, and that's the type of stuff that I love in Evercade. Like I'd rather have that than like Soul Calibur for like Dreamcast. I'm sorry, but get working on that.
I was going to completely change topic very quickly because I just saw it, and it's actually something that I've been working on. And as I'm like the techie guy at Blaze, I don't think it would get a mention otherwise. Stephen Beat asked, has Blaze reached out to college and university computer science courses to see if we have a student coders cart? Well, what I can say is we haven't necessarily pushed it in the past, but we do have a developer program. We've had it for quite a while. That's how we got the Cathedral and Allers cart put together.
Nice.
We're heavily working with a bunch of people on the developers program, and we actually have a university. I'm sure news will follow in the future. We're actually working with a university to do that such thing, like as in they're going to use Evercades as part of their development course.
That's really cool.
So, that was a big thing for me, right? Because I love coding, I love kind of learning and stuff like that, and it's super cool to have something where students are able to kind of learn game development using the stuff that we made. So just saw that and I was just like, that's cool, I wanted to answer that one. So
that question was
awesome.
That's brilliant.
I want to see the next version of Miss Pac-Man, because that's how that game came to be, right? University students speeding up Pac-Man.
Yeah, that was Miss Pac-Man, wasn't it? It was done
Yeah.
by a bunch of students
Yeah.
making a ROM hack.
Yeah, they did a ROM hack to make more money
But
off
the
their
ROM
machine.
hack was something else. I can't remember exactly what though.
It was
They
like
took
that, and they did
Pac-Man
like
and
Super
sped it
Missile
up.
Command. There was like a few of those. Yeah, there was like a few of those games.
Hmm.
There was
Jason
another.
Shires, yes, I am a fellow Southerner. I'm around the London area.
Ah,
Nice.
so here's okay. Sorry, see, I
That
wanna
was
ask
crazy.
a-
It was Crazy Otto. It originated as Crazy Otto. That's right.
So
Miss
this
Pat-
is a good question. So this is a great question. And I'll take it further. So when you said what game you'd love to see, let's say too, like if licensing was no like object, like what's like the one game like you would just love to have for every like more than like
The
more
one
than anything?
game that I
Yeah.
would want on the Evercade, okay, like one of my best ever games, is coming out on the Evercade in 2023.
Oh, so you
Ooh.
can't say what it is.
I can't say what it is.
Right now. But once,
But yeah, like I said, when I said like this year's about the games and the features and getting everything right and fan service, I mean it. It's a crazy year. Can't wait.
dude,
That's awesome.
we'll have to remember that. What
top
Ryan,
game.
when it does come out, tell us. Like when it does get announced, just like tell us on Twitter what
Well,
game that
could you
was.
say
I'd
whether or
be
not
curious.
it'll be sooner in the year or later in the year?
That's all I'm gonna say. But yeah,
Well, there's only 9 months left in the year. So,
That's true.
There's only 9 months left. So we're going to start getting a lot of news soon. If everything, we believe Ryan saying there's a big year for software and
Yep.
and features. Like we're going to start hearing about it soon, right? We've got a kind of, a blank roadmap. We need to start filling that baby in.
That's it.
yeah.
I'm super excited. This is exactly what I've been asking for since last year. I want a year dedicated to features and games. Like,
Yeah, this is definitely the yeah, we again, like we kind of, when we started this, it was very much like Andrew, me, Katie. We was this really small team at the start, and now we're getting there. We're getting more people in. We've got a lot more people on staff. We've got more guys working on that with us, with games and collaborating. It's just super exciting, and there's a bunch of stuff that we always wanted to do, but we was busy making the VS, or we was making the EXP. We didn't necessarily have that time or resource to be able to.
So Ryan, wait, did you just say Katie? So was the mascot Katie named after a real? So Katie was named
No,
after a real
Katie,
person?
sorry.
Oh,
Katie,
Katie. Okay. Okay. I
Not
was
Katie.
like,
Yeah.
sorry. I was like, that would be pretty cool. No.
Yeah, no. Katie was made up.
Okay. I was just curious.
Yeah.
Sega time. Who knows? Well,
I got
two
a
new
question
systems.
for you. Somebody just asked it. Like, we're all going to be shocked with the new publishers. Who's going to be shocked more, North American fans or European English fans? 'Cause that
Ooh,
old.
good one. Good one.
Mm.
Yeah.
Planet Earth.
Oh, I see.
You will say, oh man,
Nice.
Ugh,
Nice.
you're no fun.
I know, right? I thought you had him there, Pete.
I will literally get my ass kicked by Sean and next week if I drop in.
I think you could take Sean. I've seen you both. You could take Sean.
yeah, he could. He really could.
Yeah,
Or
but,
Sean gets no love.
Andrew, I'm sure Andrew will jump in there as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, Andrew could take you both.
Yeah.
Probably Katie could take you both.
Well, he is dad of the company, so
But Dad wouldn't hit his two sons. No. Yeah.
Whoa! What are you talking about hitting? Oh my God, guys! I just want to say,
about mud wrestling.
I've got to
Of
run.
course.
I've got to run, guys. Sorry, but I got some stuff to do with the kids. Ryan, as always, pleasure talking to you, guys. I'll talk to you next week.
Heck yeah, man.
I'm
Bye,
missing you
chat.
already.
All right.
See you, Pete.
Zippy. So I guess with that we should go to final. Thoughts. Anything either in the chat, anything anybody here, the four of us want to bring up. Let's do some final thoughts and kind of wrap up this awesomeness.
So, well, over here on this side of things, we're gonna go back to the arcade because it's Saturday, of course. So there'll be one of those hitting card, pulling from the awesome viewer requests doing that one credit quick look. So that'll be another thing that'll happen later on today. Haven't recorded it yet. I usually record early, but haven't recorded it yet. So I'm looking forward to this one. And then other than that, yeah, it's gonna be it's a little weird miasma because we hit 299. So the next show is 300. So it's gonna be a live show, and I have to like find all the friends and gather them so I could do the live show. So other than that, that's it.
Nice. What you got going on, Crow?
Nothing.
Nothing.
I finished the iRoom collection. I actually started working on making a video for it, and after thinking about it a little bit, I think I'm going to change some stuff. But I haven't actually done anything pinball or Evercade related the entire week because I've been working on some other stuff. Mainly, I sometimes get this thing where I put some stuff on eBay, but then I can't stop putting stuff on eBay. So I've been putting just like spending all my free time throwing stuff on eBay. And so, yeah, pretty much. I think, I don't know. I think half my PlayStation 4 collection is up there now.
Wow.
I have a whole bunch of pictures that I've taken like 250 pictures yesterday of stuff I'm going to throw on eBay. Maybe today, if I can do it all today. I always underestimate how much time it's going to take me to do that. But then I just like occasionally just go through my whole collection and sell a lot of it off. I do that every once in a while. Now, yeah, buy Crow's stuff.
There you go.
Though I'm not going to tell you on eBay who I am, though. It's not Crow.
Oh, damn it. I was going to get some like signed merchandise from Crow.
No, it's no. I don't have the same username on eBay.
Gandalf 79. No, I don't know. And for me, so definitely, and I think this is all of us will be talking about our channels. If we hopefully do get that announcement, that card announcement next week, definitely will be my reactions and whatnot. Things have been a little crazy. In addition to that, I may or may not have another Evercade video. I know on Culling Orchard Gamers has been requested to do more Steam Deck stuff. I do want to do that too. Just trying to fit in. We'll definitely be back here, of course, next week to talk about whatever announcements. And I don't know, Ryan, anything you want to plug, or what do you got going on next week?
Work. No, it's so yeah. Obviously, just wanted to kind of thank the community, I guess, for being so supportive and sticking up with us and putting up with us. Hopefully, we'll be doing right by you guys this year. And super glad that the limited editions are coming out and getting into those hands of everyone. So that should hopefully be with everybody by the end of next week. Everybody should really have them. So that's super cool. We'll be getting the firmware all out and done with for a lot of the stuff. We've got Game of the Month coming up soon. We've got more cart announcements. It's just all happening this year. So really excited. And yeah, we'll keep on working on loads of stuff. Keep on working really hard, and hopefully it all pays off. And if you find a bug, it's not a bug; it's a feature.
Ah, you heard it here.
There you go. We secretly got Asteroids instead of Asteroids Deluxe.
Right.
It's a feature.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
That's awesome. And
surprise mechanic.
Yeah. Surprise.
I do want to give a huge shout out to the community for supporting everybody now finding Evercast on my channel. And, I do really appreciate that. I've noticed that, pretty much as far as attendance and views and all that good stuff hasn't dropped and everything. So really, really do appreciate that. Also, too, just going to mention that, Rich has been working hard behind the scenes, like getting other like archived episodes of Evercast up like on the Pod universe, like Spotify, iTunes, all that good stuff. So he's he's doing the Lord's work there. No one asked him to. He just decided, which I think is awesome. So yeah, that'll be rolling out. And we want to.
It'd be interesting to listen, just to listen with no video to see because when I listen to a podcast, I'm not watching anything. So I wonder if that translates very well to that.
Well, I can actually tell you. I can actually tell you right now that it matters at least. Let me just get the full effect. It matters at least to 638 of you
Oh wow!
that it exists in audio form, because that's how many people have downloaded the show. So or shows. So thank you for doing that. And yes, they will continue to appear on Anchor FM, which is now Spotify for podcasters, Spotify, iTunes, Stitcher, Google Podcasts, all that kind of stuff. It's going to be the full archive, so it's all the way back from the very, very beginning to today. So it's going to take us probably until the summer to catch up, but every day there'll be another podcast drop on the feed. So good
Nice.
stuff. Yeah.
Heck yeah. Heck yeah. So we think, we all here love the community. Thanks everyone for the support. Thanks for tuning in. Ryan, of course, you and anybody from Blaze always have an outstanding invitation. We always enjoy having you all here.
Absolutely.
And to remind people, we do have that special thing coming up, later on that we've talked about in previous shows. And I think y'all know what it is. So we'll be excited about that. So with all that said, we'll go ahead and end it here. Ooh, wait. Yep. That was a preview. So with that said, we'll go ahead and end it here. Thanks, everyone. Bye-bye.
See you guys.
Bye.